Hey there PCL fans, Creatively26 here, coming at you with another video. We're doing a mid-season review. This is something we kind of talked about in the content creator chat that we kind of wanted to do to give everyone kind of a little view of where they're at in the league so far. We're 5 weeks into an 11-week season, so I just kind of want to break down into the Origins League. For those of you not familiar, Origins League is we call it the big kids league, or the players that have done just really well in seasons 1 and 2. We put them all in Origins leagues to kind of make it a little more competitive. And then the players in the Generations League, the best 4, will move up into Origins League. So Origins is kind of where, I mean, I wouldn't say it's all the best players, because there's some really good players in Generations, but there is definitely a lot of talent in Origins. So first, I'm just going to kind of go over a little overview. So the league is broken down into 2 conferences. Here's the Kanto Conference. So far, in first place in the red division is me, somehow. And then Lovecraft, Black Viper, and Brian come in 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. In the blue league, Hassam is coming in first with a 4-1 record. And then we've got Brendan, S-Life, and the Mighty Gliscor. Moving on down into the Johto Conference, we've got Toast Machine winning the gold division right now, with Clutch right behind. Really right behind, actually. Both 4-1. Lo-Fi, 2-3, Jams coming in last there. And then Silver, we've got Crow, Yeesh, Fury, and Paluki. No 4-1s in Silver as of right now. Really competitive one there. A lot of good players in the Silver division. So from there, we're just going to break down into the individual teams. We ranked them from worst to first, so that starts with the record and then differential and tiebreakers, kind of setting them where they need to be. So at number 16, we've got the Houston Heatmore. This is Brian's team. So basically, with each of these teams, we're going to list their record, the differential, the trades that they've made throughout the season. I think that's important. And then the actual team is over on the side there. So, with the Houston Heatmore, we look over the team, and it doesn't look too bad on paper. I think one of the biggest issues is a lot of grass types. It's a little stacked with grass types, but I think there's some fun things going on here. I really like Hippo and then Tyrantrum. He did pick up Tyrantrum last week from me, actually. That's a really good combo. He dropped Zygarde. I think some of the drops might have hurt a little bit, but I'm not... It's really hard to say. He's got 2 steel types. Did pick up Empoleon. I do think Empoleon is really good. But you also have Primarina as a bulky water. I don't know if you needed to drop Porygon 2. I think Porygon 2 would have suited the team a little better. That was one of the drops that I was kind of sitting here scratching my head at, like, I didn't understand that one, just from a type advantage, looking at it. But Reuniclus for Cresselia, I could kind of understand. I think Reuniclus is really good. But the top Pokemon here, as of week 5, things changed a little bit week 6, and he actually did already battle and did win. But as of week 5, Chestnut is the top one, with a 3-2 record. Kind of surprising from Chestnut. I don't think Chestnut gets used a lot. We moved it down to tier 4. Maybe we'll need to revisit it. Probably not. I think he's okay there, but yeah, so this is the team that's at the bottom right now, but had a really good game actually this week. So looking to see Brian improve on the team and see where it takes him. Yeah, that's about it for the Houston Heatmore. So the Northern Mankeys at 15. This is Jam's team. This is one of the teams that was ranked in their initial power rankings as one of the top teams. I think it was actually ranked number 1 overall. So it just goes to show that sometimes a team can look good on paper, but maybe it's just not working out, either with the player style or just not synergizing as well as people think it might have. Yeah, it's got a lot of good Pokemon, but how do they work together maybe? Maybe they're just not working as well together. Obviously it's a Zygarde 50% team. That's always just an insane Pokemon. One of the top 5 in tier 1. Lopunny is the number 1 Mega in our in our opinion. We did the Mega video. I think most people agree. Mega Lopunny is the best. It is the top Pokemon here with a 5-4 record. So kind of showing that. Silvally, again, that's one of the best tier 3s because you get to change the type every game. I think that's just really good. Bronzong is really strong. We moved it down to tier 4. I think it might be maybe too strong there, in my opinion. Some of the trades, traded Throw for Kecleon. That's a really good trade. Kecleon is very, very good in tier 5. Very good. Shaman for Roserade was an interesting trade. I think Shaman is good, but I prefer Roserade. So I was okay with that. I think adding a poison type on here is really good. You like having the advantage against a lot of the bulky fairy types. I think Roserade brings that, plus the really, really strong hidden power on Roserade with Technician. And then Starmie for Crocodile. That one, I didn't get as much. I get that Jam has had two water types, had Milotic and had Starmie, so bringing both just didn't make sense. I think Milotic was going to come most of the time, depending on how his hazard control is, which is debatable. And then with Crocodile, you're adding an Intimidate, which is really nice. I think that does help. But as far as just adding another ground type, I don't know if you're really going to bring Crocodile and Zygarde. You're adding a lot of common weaknesses together there. With Ice, you got to really watch the Ice there. Like if you bring those two, you're definitely going to want Bronzong to come in to try and take some Ice hits, or Milotic. Those two would have to come if you're bringing both ground types. So I think it's okay though. I think Crocodile is really, really strong. Like really strong. I had him season 1. He's a really good Pokemon. Has 2 great abilities. Has enough speed and power to really do some damage in draft. So hopefully it does help. I'm a big fan of Starmie, so for me it's hard to see it, but I think it's still really good. Number 14, New York Gliscors. So New York Gliscors, I think there's a curse going on here because last season another pretty good draft player had Kyurem V and ICMZ and didn't do very well. And so Gliscor drafted the same thing, and in your head you're just like, oh my gosh, that seems like such a good nuke. Like ICMZ, Kyurem V, like that would just hit so hard. But it's just not getting off the ground. Obviously though, Kyurem V is the top Pokemon here with an 8-4 record. That's pretty good enough to make our kill list actually. Anything +4 and higher I think makes the list right now. And then obviously traded Crocodile for Starmie, and that's fine. Tentacruel for Swampert. That was done, I believe, to get a ground type back on the team after dropping Crocodile. And while I think Starmie is really good, I think Tentacruel is really strong here. Personally, I really like having the stab poison if you need it. It's good hazard stacking, and the just rapid spin on your bulky water I think is really strong. And not too many get that. I mean, you got Empoleon gets Defog, and then Blastoise gets rapid spin. That's always really nice. And Starmie, obviously. So picked up Starmie at least. But I don't know if Starmie adds enough to really have wanted to drop Tentacruel. For me, I think I would have taken Tentacruel on this and kept Crocodile. Because now you've got 2 water types, Starmie and Swampert, so you gotta watch the grass there. But I might just be overthinking it a little bit. I think it's still okay. The team is still really strong. I'd still like to see Snorlax do a little more. I think we all love seeing Snorlax do some damage, but I still think it's a good team, and I definitely think Gliscor's got a lot going for him and can really take the league by surprise and still make the playoffs easily with this team. But maybe people are predicting the Kyurem V ICM too much, and he's not able to do too much with it. But the 8-4 record on Kyurem V is still really good. It's still a really, really good Pokemon. So now we've got the OU dropouts at 13. This is Black Viper's team. 2-3 record. So we're up into the 2-3s now. No more 1-4. Gliscor was the only 1-4 actually. Differential is -5. So as I said, Origins is really competitive and really strong. So only 3 people had like what I would say is probably a bad record. Everyone else is still like really like going strong and just in the running still easily. So trades, A lot of trades here. Piper's been trading around. Dropped Florgus for Alamamola. I don't like it, but that's his choice. There's no, I'm just double checking here looking at the team, there's no fairy on this team. And I think that hurts. I think Florgus added a lot to the team. But I mean, to be fair, Alamamola's the only bulky water. I had Araquanid too though. So I think keeping Florgus and Araquanid would have been fine, but dropped it. Traded Mega Altaria for Mega Scissor, and those are both really good megas. Obviously Mega Scissor worked out for him though, because went 4-0 with the first week with it, so that's good. And then, I mean, after you have Alamamola, yeah, dropping Araquanid's fine for Decidueye. It's okay. I still think Araquanid's a lot stronger. The Z trade, I can see that. Obviously, there's Luxray, but are you really going to bring Electrium Z Luxray? Probably not. Normal Z can probably do some stuff here. I think there's some fun sets you can run with that. And then dropping Breloom for Haxorus, obviously good. When you've got Decidueye, you don't need Breloom as much. Breloom hasn't proved itself too much in draft yet. I still think it's good. It'll be exciting to see it, but we just haven't seen it yet. So Haxorus is really nice, especially after losing Altaria, because that was the other fairy and dragon. But now this team is fairyless, and I think that's really telling, because that's a really core part of a lot of people's cores, and people can really like work around that, because it's like, oh, well, I don't have a fairy, so now I can relax on having to bring poison coverage and stuff like that. So maybe a little telling. I don't know. I think overall, to be completely honest, this is probably my least favorite team for the draft, just looking at the team, but it still has promise. I think Pangoro is really strong. I had that last season and did really well. And Mega Scissor is going to prove itself, I think. We'll just have to see what the Viper does with it. Number 12 is another big surprise. So, Biofray Venusaur's Paluki's team was ranked number 1 overall for draft on week 1, and is 2-3 with -4 differential. This is the Coco and Hawlucha team, so obviously really crazy combo there. 2 top Pokemon here, a 7-4 Tapu Koko, Mega Latias is 6-3. Both of those were going really strong. Mega Latias and Latios have been really proving themselves this season. It might be proving themselves enough to see a vote again if they get banned or not, because they're banned in a lot of other leagues. We're still allowing them because people haven't used them quite as well, but I think now they're starting to kind of get a lot of use and doing well. A lot of trades. I don't want to go over all of them. I think Uxie for Slowbro was really strong, but then Slowbro was later dropped for Alligator. I really like for Alligator. It adds a lot of offensive pressure. I think this is a very offensive team overall, so that's pretty good. But Slowbro just adds so much to any team. I think Slowbro is fun. There's so many sets you can run on it. I think it's just great. And then all the trades to do to get Electrium Z was just insane. I applaud you for that. Electrium Z Coco is now on the team that has Coco Hawlucha and Mega Latias, which is why we all thought this team was broken. I still expect Palugi to give people a run for their money and do really, really well, and just be the team that people are really worried about and teching for. Even if they're not doing so well, you can't sleep on this team at all. I think he had said he was memeing this season. I don't see it. Looking at the team, this is not a meme team. This is a serious team, and I think if maybe with just a little more prep, it would easily just run through the league. Just run straight through it. It's really good, really broken team, in my opinion. So next we have the Desolate Earthbladers. This is Fury's team, coming in at 11 with a 2-3 record, differential -2. So we're starting to get towards the really even teams that aren't really doing really bad, but just aren't getting off the ground quite yet. Top Pokemon's Dragonite, 5-3, really good. The trade week 1, Chansey for Dragonite, probably a good trade. I don't think Chansey's really proved itself in draft. Nobody really enjoys using stall that much, so I think we had some stall going on in generations earlier this season, but yeah, Chansey hasn't done much, so Dragonite is a good pickup. Dragonite's really strong, I think, a little underrated in draft. There's better dragons in tier 1, sure, but I think it brings a lot to a team. There's a lot you can do with it. Yanmega for Nidoqueen, I think that's a fine trade, especially if we need a ground type. Heliolisk for Sharpedo, I think that depends. Heliolisk is a really good electric. This team does have Rotom Wash. I prefer my fast electrics personally in draft, but I think Rotom Wash is fine. Obviously, it's a really strong Pokemon, so dropping Heliolisk is okay here. And then Sharpedo. Sharpedo's a great offensive piece. I think it's good. You've already got your bulky water with Rotom Wash, so Sharpedo is fun. The speed boost is just really good. This team also has Comfey, which I've talked about in my tier 4 video. It's just one of the best, I think the best tier 4. Dragonium Z Dragonite, that's good. Necrozma is just a beast. If we did have Z captains here, it would be even better, but obviously we do drafting Z crystals, but Necrozma still always proved itself in draft. Slurpuff is a great fairy. I think this team has a lot going for it. I think maybe my only critique, there's 2 bulky dragons on here. You've got Dragonite. Do you need Goodra? Personally, I don't think Goodra is needed on this team. I think Dragonite is fine. I can, unless you're really worried about a strong ice attack that you think Goodra can take and Dragonite can't, I don't think I would ever bring Goodra over Dragonite, in my opinion. Dragonite has so much more utility. It's just really nice. I think a trade with Goodra would be maybe beneficial to the team. Look at what you need. I'm trying to think. I know this team needed something. It might be Steel. I don't think this team has a Steel type. Look and see what Steels are available. See if someone with 2 Steel types like Brian would want to trade something. You can do that. Yeah, I think a Steel type would help this team a lot, because I mean Dragonite and Slurpuff, you've already got your little pieces there. Just get or Comfey, obviously another good fairy. Just get a Steel in there somewhere. I think helps a lot. Steel types are so good. So number 10, the Niskatonic Tentacruels. This is Lovecraft's team. So Lovecraft is 2-3, differential of 0, so breaking even here, but is 2-3, so a little bit lower for the win-loss ratio, but I think that's okay, and they're going to really prove themselves with this team. It's a fun team. It's a Hoopa U team. Hoopa U is 6-2, which is really good. Has Gliscor, the best tier 2 in my opinion, really good. Tapu Fini, Komodo, so many good bulky offense pieces, I think, and then you've got Beedrill coming in and Rock Dusk to add a lot of speed. Heliolisk was picked up, so this is, I think, a really strong team and a top contender in my opinion. I think just because they can run really nice offensive sets. They can run bulky, they can run fast. Hoopa U with Trick Room is just crazy good, and I think we've seen it. It's done really well. The trades I think have all been really good. Entei for Komodo allowed him to drop Druddigon for Heliolisk. Heliolisk is a really good fast electric type. Hitmonlee for Torkoal is a great trade. I think Torkoal is a really good underrated Pokemon. The Drought is nice if you need it. Otherwise, I mean, it's a decent rapid spinner, rock setter. It's good. Lurantis for Sawsbuck, I did not understand. I have yet to see Sawsbuck do much. We know how Lurantis can run its contrary set, so I liked Lurantis, but I would like to see what Lovecraft's going to do with Sawsbuck. Maybe there's something I'm not seeing. But overall, I really like the team. It's a very offensive team, though. You do have Gliscor and Registeel to add a little tech, a little defensive tech in there, but overall, it's a really strong offensive team that people got to watch out for and really prep for those big hits coming from Hoopa U and Beedrill. Really strong. Next, we've got the Toronto Maple Leafeons. This is Lo-Fi's team, 2-3 with a differential of 1. So this is the meme team. If you look at the team, you can kind of see the theme. This is all Generation 1 Pokemon. So the top one here is Mew, 6-3. We haven't seen much of Clefable. got Gyarados and Slowbro. The trades for Slowbro were really good. Getting that off of Palutki was nice. Slowbro adds a lot, I think, as far as Gen 1 goes. And Charizard X, really good Mega, in my opinion. Tangela is crazy good. Magneton was really the only Steel type they could go for. So it limits the team a bit there. I think that might be one of the weaknesses, but obviously there's nothing you can do about it. If you're going full Gen 1, Magneton is it. That's what you're using, unless you somehow convince yourself that using Magnezone's okay. Magneton's there. So, and then obviously with Tangela and Rhydon, knockoffs can be an issue, especially, I mean, your big hitter is Mew, knockoff hurts Mew too. So, I think this team has to really watch out for the knockoff spam. I think that's what a lot of people are going to try to bring against this team. The trades have been decent. Nidoqueen was traded for Aerodactyl because you didn't need Nidoqueen and Nidoking. But then Aerodactyl was traded for Alligator, which was able to be traded for Slowbro. So never used for Alligator, obviously it's Gen 2, but did that so that Palutki could get rid of Slowbro without having to use a free agency, which is a little not nice, but it's okay. Machamp was dropped for Hitmonlee. I think that's okay. Hitmonlee's been really, really, really good. And that freed up room to drop Sandslash, which isn't a good Pokemon, let's be honest. For Rhydon, which is good. Rhydon's strong. It's obviously not a rapid spinner like Sandslash is, but I think it brings a lot of power. Again, it is another Eviolite though, so I think the biggest issue with this meme team is just people are going to bring knockoff and you gotta be ready for that. Because there's not much you can do about it. With this team overall, whoever's got the Z Crystal will be fine, and then Charizard X will be fine. But there's not much resist for the knockoff. Alright, so number 8, we're moving into the 3-2 records now. This is the Midgar Manectrix S-Life's team. It's a 3-2 with a differential of -1. Really good, really strong team. Only 2 trades to talk about. Delibird for Stoutland, obviously that's really good. They have, I believe, Gigalith? Yes, Gigalith. So Stoutland's good there. Sandrush. Leavanny for Armaldo. I think that's a good trade. Armaldo's a nice rapid spinner, gets Sword Dance, has Aqua Jet, good stab moves. Armaldo probably slept on a lot. I don't think we talk about it much in Tier 5. It's really good. I've seen it used a lot on mono bug teams, on ladder, and showdown, so I've seen what Armaldo can do and it can be pretty good. So hopefully we get to see that from S-Life, but the trades aren't really needed here. Megaladios, 6-3, Megaladios has been doing just so much damage here. I think Infernape is really fun. Obviously I think S-Life kind of foregoed some of the Tier 1 strengths to get stronger ones in other tiers, which is good. I think Magnezone is crazy in Tier 2. Mimikyu we moved down to Tier 2, and that's really good, especially with Ghostium. Excadrill, so this is a really, really strong sand team. Obviously if people are able to counter the sand, that's good, but even if they can, Megaladios is just such a beast to try to get around without the proper prep. So as long as people are prepping for those 2 things, the sand and the Megaladios, they might be okay. But just a really strong team, has a lot of good synergy, I think, and I expect to see them continue that on their road to probably the playoffs. I think most of the teams we're going to talk about from here on out are very, very playoff ready, and they're going to be fighting for those spots. So next we have Snowpoint Sneasels. Yes, the Pokemon that changed is now regular Latios. So regular Latios is 4-0 on this team. Traded Ferrothorn for Stakataka. I don't like that trade, personally. You lost a lot of power in Ferrothorn, I think. I like having the grass and a steel, so having those together is really nice. Otherwise, Normilium for Flynium, yeah, that's fine. Flynium's good. This site isn't updated, or no, yeah, this site isn't updated, but this should be a Flynium team now. Lando T Flynium. Crazy synergy there. I expect Lando T to probably take over as the top Pokemon on this team, which is really good. The differential is just great. Alola Ninetales, Alola Sandslash is a fun combo that we don't see a lot. We moved Ninetales down to tier 2, so it makes it a little easier to pull that off. Not much else to say. I just think there's a lot of power on this team, a lot of synergy, nothing too crazy though. Dragalge, maybe not needed. You have Latios. Having the stab poison is fine though. But bringing that against a fairy, I don't know if that's always the best bet. So 3-2 with the 3 record is the Toronto Star Raptors. This is Crow's team. Crow's team is one that's kind of surprised people, I think. I think it started off as one that people thought was one of the worst teams, but is now proving that it is not, and it is a playoff contender. A lot of trades going on though. Some of them are really good. Alolan Exeggutor hadn't done anything, so I think the trade for Trevenant is probably good. Jolteon to Galvantula. I prefer Jolteon overall. Galvantula does add some with Mega Garchomp that was picked up though, getting the webs on there. Azumarill for Manaphy is fine. Manaphy's been good. I know I don't like Manaphy much. I talked about that a lot in the Discord, but it's a good Pokemon. I'm not going to deny that. Mega Absol for Garchomp I think is a good trade. Mega Absol hasn't proved much. It's been dropped. It just never does anything. It's just not strong enough. It's too frail probably. Superior for Tyranitar. Maybe that's okay. I think Tyranitar with Nihilego is actually a decent combo if you don't mind running the dual rocks. Boosting the special defense on Nihilego even more is really good. And then Meloetta is good. Good pickup. Overall, I think the trades have made the team a lot stronger than it was, which is good. Nihilego's running 7-2 right now. People are having a little difficulty getting around that. Surprises me. Any really good priority move that's not Quick Attack or Extreme Speed is going to really hinder Nihilego, but Crow's a great player, so I know he's playing around that really well. Volcarona's really good too, with Fiery MZ, really strong team. Definitely think the trades have improved it. I definitely wouldn't put it in the bottom even just looking at the team. I'd be like, yeah, this is a good team. Volcarona and like Tyranitar and Mega Garchomp, just crazy. Good stuff. Number 5, we've got Pixelated Outrage, Brendan's team. So 4-1 with a differential of +8. A lot of trades going on. They were going for kind of a flinch core, I think they were calling it. Togekiss and Jirachi are really annoying Pokemon to try to get around with Serene Grace and their flinch moves. So the trades have overall probably helped the team. Ninetales for Chandelure, obviously that's a huge upgrade. Roserade for Shaman, I don't like, but it makes more sense with the Mega Gallade to Mega Venusaur trade. So you picked up your Poison type, so Shaman doesn't even seem needed, which it was dropped for Drapion, which was then dropped for Porygon too. I like Drapion a lot, but you have your Stab Poison in Venusaur. But a Stab knockoff would have been really nice, I think. You already have a Dark type in Hydreigon though, but this team might be lacking, just looking over it, I think it's lacking knockoff, actually. I don't think any of those Pokemon get knockoff. I could be wrong, but I don't think any of them get knockoff, so that's one thing people can really abuse their Violet users against Brendan. I don't think he has any trades left in him though. So we'll just have to do with that. But Jirachi's been 7-3, Hydreigon's 5-1, those are all really good. Hydreigon's a beast in draft, a really good dragon, probably the best, easily the best tier 2 dragon. Just really good. Porygon 2 I do think adds a lot, so if you don't need the knockoff, then yeah, Porygon 2 is a good way to go. It's a really bulky Pokemon to add some power to the team. Overall, I think it's a good team. It's an annoying team. With the right tech, I think people can get by. Mega Venusaur though is just such a wall. People will really struggle to get past Mega Venusaur. Alright, so Kansas City Kingdras coming in at 4. 4-1 record, 9 differential, 1 trade, Toxicroak for Cryogonal. Celesteela is 13-1. Why is it 13-1? People are not taking Celesteela seriously enough this season, maybe. You really got to tech around it, but to be completely honest, I think Clutch is probably the best draft player we have. Crow's really close behind that, but Clutch is very seasoned, knows what he's doing, and with Celesteela on his team, that just makes him such a powerhouse. Really strong cores, Mega Gardevoir coming in with Celesteela, and then Garchomp. Just crazy hard to try to get around that and play around it. Arcanine adds a lot, I think. Really good physical fire type. Groundium Garchomp is just a nuke. That's crazy. Just a lot going for it. I think the trade's okay. I don't think Toxicroak really proved itself much in draft yet. I don't know if we're going to move it to tier 5. It's on my radar to like, maybe. And then Cryogonal, though, is a good rapid spinner, and that is obviously what Clutch was kind of lacking. But I think with just the offensive pressure he has with his team, I don't know, maybe you don't need it as much. I do think the team is pretty much all on the ground except Celesteela too, so watching out for Earthquake spam might be a thing too. But then that might be why it's only ranked 4 at the moment, but it's still really good. I have to face them, I know that, and it's going to be a struggle, I think. It's going to be a fun match, but I'm very worried. Celesteela is just a beast, and I can understand why people are struggling. So number 3, we have Toast Machine with the Winnipeg Wartortles. 4-1, differential 10, no trades. Toast is proving that you can just take the team that you drafted and just run with it. Lucario is 9-3. We moved Lucario to tier 3, and whew. Toast is just running with it. Maybe that was too much. Maybe you have to revisit it. I don't think so. I do think Lucario is fine. I don't know why people might be struggling. We'd have to maybe look into that. But and then Mega Ampharos 5-0. So this is one of the teams that's kind of abusing our new baton pass rules with Scolipede speed passing. We didn't allow speed passing the last 2 seasons. We did this season. So speed passing to Ampharos is putting Ampharos at a 5-0, which is really good. Yeah, just overall the baton pass is good here. Seismitoad is fun. I've been seeing it a lot in drafting. It's been doing just crazy good work. Alola Marowak is really nice in tier 3 now. I think people are enjoying it there. Tornadus T, I talked about my tier 1 video. I think is really underrated and really good, but I think the MVPs here are the Scolipede, Lucario, Ampharos, just really strong. And I think this team and maybe my team are the ones that are pushing people to think that maybe we shouldn't allow speed passing, because it is just crazy good synergy if you're not ready for it. Number 2, we have Hassam with the Damascus Cophagragus. So 1 loss, that was to me. It was a really close game though. Differential is 11. Trades, Mega Blastoise to Mega Tyranitar, that's obviously a huge upgrade. Rhydon went to Bioplume. That's okay, I really like Bioplume. Ribombee for Piloswine. I like Ribombee a lot. I was really worried. I teched pretty hard for Ribombee, thinking the webs were coming against my team, but it didn't. Overall, though, Porygon Z went 5-0 after he brought it. I don't know. Like that 5-0 is really good on Porygon Z. I think maybe that's showing that it may be a little too strong. We did move it down to tier 3. I was really worried about moving it down to tier 3. We don't allow Omni Boost though, so you can't do the Z conversion. So it was like, yeah, okay, maybe, but I'm a little more worried now. And then Kyurem 6-2. Kyurem's crazy good. Second best dragon in tier 2, I think, after Hydreigon. Kyurem can run some crazy cool sets. Zero Aura has been good. Obviously, it's not one of the top Pokemon here, but obviously, when I played Azam, that Zero Aura was such a pain to tech against. It's really strong. I think it's proved itself that it does belong in tier 1, in my opinion. We'll obviously be talking about that near the end of the season, but I think that's good. Overall, just really strong team, pretty bulky, but it's got the power where it needs it in Zero Aura and Staraptor, really fun. A lot of these Pokemon are kind of lesser used, which is fun, and I know that's kind of what Hassam was going for, and he's really doing well with it. I expect him to continue to do well, and I expect him to probably take his division. I think he's got a little competition, but this is just such a good a good team, I think. Really strong. And then number 1, Flare Blitz. So my top Pokemon is Kamala. Yeah, that happened. Somebody named Lo-Fi gave me a crazy good set with Sleep Talk and a banded Sleep Talk last resort set. And then I took it one step further and ran Agility, Baton Pass, Scizor, and swept with it. And I think that's really pushed people to be like, oh my gosh, this Baton Pass thing needs to be revisited, and I probably agree. It was a little much. But was really fun to see Kamala do something well. It is currently the best record for a tier 5, I think. It's doing so good. So my trades, I dropped Archeops for Spiritomb. I think that was a good trade. Overall, I didn't need Archeops. It wasn't doing much on the team. I had plenty of power. Tyrantrum for Zygarde. It was a tough trade, but I think it was okay. It gave me room to drop my ground type Diggersby, who was also doing okay, for Suicune, which I think is good. People don't understand why I took Suicune. They questioned it because this is a Bulu team, but I think it's good enough, and I will try to prove it. But Zygarde, what I really wanted was Zygarde 10%. I wanted it in draft and it got sniped, but then Brian did decide he wanted to trade for it, which is good. For me, I wanted it because of the 1,000 Arrows. 1,000 Arrows hits through the grassy terrain, because grassy terrain nerfs Earthquakes, which hurts a lot of people's power against me, especially since I have a Alola and Volcanion. So having 1,000 Arrows on my team lets me just get past that and use my own ground moves and not have them be nerfed, basically, which I think is really good. Trying to look from a non-biased perspective, the team is good. I definitely wouldn't have picked it as number 1, but I think there's just a lot going for it. You've got all the cores there. Zygarde isn't bulky though, so the Fairy Steel Dragon core isn't as strong, but obviously Bulu Volcanion is good and has been doing fine for me. Alola I just think is adding a lot of power to the team, even though I haven't brought it as much. I expect to see it come a few more times. Mandibuzz is really good. Best tier 3 defogger probably. It's got a lot going for it. It's just a bulky powerhouse. And then Mesprit's actually been doing me pretty well. I've brought some fun sets on Mesprit. It can do a lot. It's really fun in tier 4. It was tier 5. We moved it to tier 4 and it's still just doing great. I think it's fine there and I think it's good. But yeah, it's a slow team. People have told me about that. Oh, your team's so slow. It's not going to do well. I've been working fine around it, I think. I think Agility Pass is doing okay. And now adding Zygarde adds a lot more speed to it. Zygarde and Manectric do just fine. Well, we'll see how it goes. I am ahead. Me and Hassam have the same record, but I did beat him, so I win the tiebreaker, so it puts me ahead. But me and Hassam are pretty much both number 1, I think. Both really good teams. So here's the playoff picture at the moment. Nobody is out of the playoffs yet. Nobody. There's still room to go. You have to be 0 and I think because nobody is undefeated, I think you have to be 0 and 8 before you are completely removed from playoff contention. Or maybe 0 and 7. I'd have to double check, but nobody's out yet. So right now the playoff picture is looking like with Kanto Conference, it is me and Hassam taking red and blue division, Brendan and S-Life coming in as the next 2 best, and then in the Johto, Toast Machine is taking gold and Crow is taking silver at the moment, so those are the 2 number 1s, and that's why even though Clutch has a 4-1, he's in the same division as Toast Machine, so Crow would be ahead of him because it's the top person from each division and then the 2 next best. So but then yeah, Clutch and Yeesh would come in 3rd and 4th there, so that's kind of what we're looking at for the playoff picture. But again, nobody's out yet at all. Nobody's knocked out, so everyone's gonna really keep trying. I think it's gonna be a really competitive season, and we could see this completely change. All of these people on the playoff list could drop off easily. That's probably not gonna happen to everyone, but some people are gonna drop off of this. People are gonna fight, and it's gonna be good. So we've got 6 more weeks. I hope you guys are excited. These were the top 16 mascots. I just put them up here for fun. But we were all really excited for the season. I think it's going really, really well. We've had a few people drop from the Generations League, but that's okay. We've got some really good replacements and just some people that are really enjoying their time at the league. So I hope you guys have enjoyed Season 3 so far. I hope you enjoyed the end of it, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you guys next time.